Yes, it looks like something from outer space, just landed on the top of Mount Gabriel here near Mizen Head. But this is the kind of equipment that's inside that big white sphere. The latest air traffic radar antenna capable of scanning hundreds of miles out into the Atlantic. And this bubble, or radome as it's called, is designed to protect the delicate apparatus on the exposed summit. These are the kind of people needed to erect it, steeplejacks, working here with their boss, Angela Collins, daughter of a County Clare farmer, now with 28 steeplejacks working for her on various projects throughout Ireland, Europe and the Middle East. She's based in Limerick and went into this business almost by accident 9 years ago.
I left school to work for a local steeplejack firm in Limerick. The only training I got was to be a secretary. But from time to time, my boss there wanted me to do different things. He was away maybe up the country, and he'd ring me up and say, manufacturer, lighting conductor out there, the workshop was out the back, and bring it up here to Monaghan. And when I'd get up there, he'd just say, take it up to the men there and whatever.
Who'd be away up on a
Who'd
height?
be away up maybe 200 or 300 feet. It didn't matter really. So he just wanted to get the job done, and that was it. So I'd go up there and do my business. So that's how it all started. I felt that this is where I feel I'm achieving something, and I wanted to continue doing that.
Well, then you married and you have children. I mean, why did you want to continue in this particular line of work?
Well, I don't like anything to do with, sounds terrible, I don't like housework. I don't like anything to do with the home, even though I love my family, of course. But I find that it's not rewarding. I want to be out and doing something that demands courage or skill or whatever. There's not much skill I find in doing housework.
But isn't it terribly dangerous?
It is very dangerous, but I like, the more dangerous it is, the better. And I think the men are the very same. The more danger that's involved, the more it attracts them.
Angela began with 3 men, including her husband John. Now she's got the biggest business in the country and is still expanding. Churches, convents, factories, chimneys, anything from 200 to 600 feet high. These provide her main work. The radomes here are just part of Angela's various enterprises. The dome itself is made of delicate-looking plastic membrane.
Angela, it looks like very strenuous work. Are you all right? Can you get down any further?
No.
Angela, it looks very dangerous up there with the high wind and everything. Is it actually dangerous working there?
It is actually very difficult today. One cannot work out there at all today. But it's not as delicate as it looks now. It's built to withstand winds of 200 miles an hour, believe it or not.
It flaps around there.
I know it does, but still, that's just the look of the texture. In actual fact, this is all tested and manufactured to stand up to these winds, and it does. It's actually designed for buildings of this nature and at very high points.
Is it difficult to erect it on the top of a mountain like this in these kind of winds?
It's not difficult to erect it in the sense of the skill from men, but the wind prohibits the erection of it. For instance, now we're here nearly a month, and 24 hours will put this up, but we're waiting for 24 hours of calm weather. This is the problem. It's not the actual symbol of the radome itself. This gives us no problem.
2 domes are being erected here on Mount Gabriel, and then these men could be on their way to Turkey, where one of their next jobs is due. Angela's husband, with 8 of the men, are working on a job in Crete at the moment. These are highly paid professionals who regard themselves as an elite and don't mind admitting that they also see themselves as pretty tough. They are, by definition, steeplejacks, very tough, very capable men who are not afraid of danger. Is it difficult for you to handle men like that?
Not difficult to handle. It's very difficult to find them. But these men are very skilled and very capable of undertaking any job. And we are usually called in when something is ready to collapse. And more often than not, there's always probably £500,000 of the plant at the bottom underneath what we're doing. It usually takes skill and good men to overcome these jobs.
Did you ever think you'd wind up as a steeplejack working for a woman?
Oh, never. Oh, my God.
Does she know the business, really know it?
Oh, she do, yeah. She's quite good at it, like, you know.
I saw her up there working beside you, or at least climbing today. Does she sometimes get out and up beside you?
Oh, she do, yeah. Oh, she's quite good at that, like, you know. She's a fair old hand for a woman anyway, you know.
What do you think of her actually being able to work at that kind of...
Well, it's exceptional, I suppose, you know. It's very unusual looking, I suppose, to see a woman at it.
None of the steeplejacks take exception, do they, to the fact that she calls the shots, she gives the orders?
Oh, she does, yes, but I mean, when the gang is on the job, there's no problem with the lads, you know, working there.
Do you think steeplejacks, people like yourself who are not afraid of heights, do you think they're born or made?
I think they're born, but it takes a while for it to come out. Like, you must have the opportunity. Like, maybe if we weren't so well off, that we manoeuvred around and found exactly what we wanted to do. We had the freedom to do that.
What do you look for in a man when you're going to employ him as a steeplejack?
Well, first, he must have years of experience. That's the first thing you look for in a man. He must be able to do everything when he gets up there.
Do you ever get scared?
Never, no. If I was, I wouldn't go up there because you couldn't afford to be scared.
Angela Collins enjoys the business side of steeplejacking as much, if not more, than the actual climbing. She finds it every bit as adventurous. So she's now decided to diversify, on the basis that if you've got to do all the dangerous work, why not reap some of the easier pickings as well?
We have a joint venture going at the moment with the ESCO from Boston, who actually previously have manufactured these radomes, and it was assisted by the ID8 presently being built, so we should be able to go into production early in the spring.
You're actually going to build these big domes yourself?
Manufacture these radomes in Kilkishen, County Clare.
And erect them?
And erect them, yes.
What happens to your firm now? Will you just build it up and hand it on to your children?
Hopefully, that's my whole ambition, is to have a business to hand over to my family.
Suppose one of your kids said, Mammy, I don't want to climb up on big heights.
I hope they won't do that after working so hard. They must continue it. I hope so.
You said yourself that steeplejacks are born, not made, so it's possible that they mightn't like the heights.
It is, but I think when they see their parents doing something, they might follow in their footsteps.
You haven't tried them out yet?
No, not really. They're too tiny.